time, weather, and highways.
It's time for an episode of the Backpage,
a weekly podcast where you'll hear from your hosts,
Lloyd, Kent, and Haley,
as they cover their favorite hot topics in the greater Colusa County area.
Heck,
You might even hear an opinion or two.
now
it is now time
It's now time
for the Backpage.
For the Backpage.
it's time for the Backpage.
I decided not to punish everybody with Christmas music
I was just going
this
to
week.
say, is that Christmas
That
music?
was
What
not.
is-
No, not this week. Next week.
Okay.
I'm saving them up. This is Lloyd here on the Backpage, and I'm joined with my co-host Kent Boes
What's happening, everybody?
and Haley Apaseo.
Hi.
So,
Hi.
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 You know, it's funny. I was preparing for our December episodes, going through some of our old podcasts, and you changed up your intro.
I did?
Yeah.
My mouth is like really frozen.
Chicka chicka. If you remember, chicka chicka.
Oh, yeah.
You remixed it?
She remixed it back. Remember the first
Like
one?
the
I don't.
first.
I haven't listened to those in a long time.
And you were cracking a can back then.
I was.
Yeah. This is all like 26 weeks ago, you know.
Half
So
a year.
long ago. This week's episode, we have Carissa Bowers, the program manager for the Colusa County Community Advocates for Parents and Children. And she is joined with Franco Castillo and Shelly Wilson, public information officers for the CHP. They're going to talk about the upcoming Chips for Kids. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you.
So how was everybody's week?
It was,
Can we just say interesting?
for me personally, an interesting week. It was long. It actually kind of went by fast. I'll leave it as that.
Yeah.
Oh, we went to the Veterans
Oh, we
Memorial
did it
Deal
on
on
Monday. Yes, I actually was off for Veterans Day, so we got to
First
go.
time in a dozen years.
I know.
I
We got
heard
to
there was a
go.
lot of people out there. I had to stand by and watch off as Susan was out there covering the event. So,
I didn't
yeah.
see Susan.
I saw her taking
Did you?
pictures.
I didn't see her.
yeah, she was up front and center.
No, it
I
was
saw Dick Lau running around taking pictures. I didn't
Yeah.
see Susan.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring my sunglasses, and I'm sure if you see a picture of me, I look like I'm really mad because I'm like squinting the whole time. But it was a really good ceremony.
No, she's not mad. That's just her face.
She didn't want to be there.
Oh well, yes. Whatever.
How was your weekend?
Not the same as Haley's. We went to the Veterans thing, and then we went to Roseville. Oh, she took me to the new Hard Rock Casino over
Oh,
in
yeah.
Wheatland.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
open finally.
It's nice. It's really nice. I'd say if you've been to Cache Creek, it's not as big, but it's about
Okay.
the same caliber of decor and all that, as far as the high ceilings and bars and stuff, and everything looks really, really fancy in there. But it's probably about the same size, maybe a little bigger than Colusa.
Okay.
But nice place. They got 3 or 4 restaurants, bars everywhere in the middle of the casino, on the sides of the casino. No, it was fun.
The bathrooms are nice.
I was there for like 15 minutes and I won like $800.
Well,
So-
that's great.
Yeah. And then Haley spent an hour trying to win $1,200 and then got really disappointed. That's a really funny story. I'll let you ask her that one offline. She probably doesn't want to embarrass herself on the air.
I was so close. So close. And I lost.
Yep.
Anywho.
That's what happens when you go to casinos.
But it's okay because I won.
You did.
Yeah.
You evened out the playing field.
Yeah. It's fun.
Well, I didn't get anything for it. So.
It was funny. I basically sat down at this machine and I was like, hey, Haley, watch this. And it hit it.
It was like 50 cents. We were not like big gamblers. It was
No.
50 cents a spin. And then what, like 4 spins in?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
Yeah.
Wasn't long at all. It just, bam, it hit.
Yeah.
So, Carissa, Franco, and Shelly, how was your guys this week?
Busy, as usual.
Busy.
Busy. Yeah, just getting ready for our toy distribution, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a lot of work goes behind that. People don't see.
Yeah, it was nice having Monday off. I really enjoyed that, not having to come to work. But over the weekend, I did travel down to Nebraska to go see my son at the Offutt Air Force Base. So,
Oh, cool.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, so that was pretty cool. It's pretty cold going through Wyoming right now and all those states.
Yeah.
Well, they're having that big cold
But,
snap right now, aren't they?
There was, and I think we were able to get out just in time. But yeah, it was
We're
nice.
over here 95
Yeah.
in
You guys-
November, and they're like -12.
It was so it was nice not to have the mosquitoes over there.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Get rid of the Colusa County State Bird.
Right.
Well, I wasn't so fortunate to get Monday off, but
But you will come.
I will.
February.
For the folks at home, there was a menacing glare just thrown at Mr. Castillo's way.
Yep.
he's
By
earned
Miss
it.
Shelley.
He's earned it. But today is Friday, so end of a good week.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yes, it's Friday. I'm glad it's the weekend.
Friday.
Yeah, I've had a migraine since Tuesday and just
Doesn't sound like fun at all.
no. I'm ready for it to be over. So if you hear me stuttering more than normally, that's why. Just giving you a warning now.
What do we got this week? What do we got?
Oh, talking about Veterans Day, thank you to all the veterans who have served our country and are continuing to serve our country. The Colusa County VFW and American Legion hosted their annual Veterans Day ceremony, and several of the schools participated in veteran services. Williams hosted one where they had I believe it was a flag retirement ceremony there as well.
I think so.
I tell you what, that the keynote speaker they had at the Colusa Memorial Park deal, Buster Diggs, that dude is funny.
Yeah.
I really like that guy.
Yeah, I was at one couple years ago where he was at, and he told some really funny stories, especially about growing up in
Right.
Colusa and all that. And that
I enjoyed listening to him.
yeah, I heard they read off all of the names out at the.
Yeah, they
How
do that
long-
every year.
How long did that take? Because I heard there was 900 names.
20, 30 minutes. It doesn't take
Okay.
too long. Doesn't take too
I was
It blew by
wondering
really
about that.
fast.
Well, tell me about this volleyball. What's this volleyball deal about?
Well, you're asking a non-sports person here.
You put it on the front page,
I know.
Mr.
It's-
Publisher.
The Colusa volleyball claimed their first section championship, so they're section champions.
Oh,
So
wow.
Congratulations. I believe so.
I heard it's been quite a while.
Quite a while. That's
since this
what
has happened.
So are they doing like playoffs or state or what's next for them?
It's state,
they're
right?
going to state championships. Yeah,
Man.
and
Right
last I
on.
heard they were moving up or moving. I have to. I'm not a sports person. I don't follow it. It's sad to say.
I just know it happened.
We need to get Miss Blue in here, which, by the way, I have to say I forgot to mention on last week's show. Happy birthday, Jennifer. It
I
was her
didn't know
birthday.
she had the same birthday as me.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. That's kind of cool.
What year? Well, how old is she? Well, probably tell me that offline.
I'll
tell me
ya.
that
Let's
offline.
see.
Because I'm wondering if we were literally born on the same day.
Yeah. It was the same day.
No. I mean, like the same day, same year,
No,
same
no, no,
everything.
no,
Okay,
no,
okay. So
no.
her and I are not the same age.
A couple years apart.
Okay.
Yes.
Just so everyone knows, this is Colusa Volleyball's first section champion title in the history of Colusa Volleyball.
Wow, that's pretty good. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Filings for the March primary election have opened up.
Yep.
We have candidates running for supervisors in a 2020 presidential election for districts 2, 3, and 4.
And no one has filed yet. Technically.
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 And they have until December 6th to file their declarations of candidacy. So they got a little while.
In
but
District 2, it will likely be, what is it, extra 7 days? Or 5 days? 5 days?
I believe so if the incumbent doesn't
Right.
run, right?
And as far as I understand, the incumbent is not intending to file, so there will be extra time in
Yes.
District 2.
Yeah, and they have until December 11th.
Right.
And then, let's see, what else we got going on here?
Marvin Burgess is retiring.
Yeah, I was shocked to actually hear the news of that.
Yeah.
It's funny they're saying they're retiring, and it's like, man, they're pretty young to be retiring, turning 65 this year, and he said
that's young
it was
to
time
retire.
to move on. I'm like, wow.
Isn't that normal?
I don't know.
I feel like the story you can draw Social Security at 62, right? I think. What else you got, Lloyd? What else? The arrest log is back.
The arrest log is back. Yes.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
It's now back. We'll make sure it's a permanent feature as much as we can.
I see Kathy Prego wished me a happy birthday.
No, she wished herself a happy birthday.
Oh. Well.
I believe she was talking about her birthday in general, but yes. Happy birthday to you, Kent.
Yay, me.
Or was she saying happy birthday to Jennifer?
I'm officially, I don't know if you know this, I am officially eligible to run for president.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been coming for some time.
So
but
2020?
Well,
perfect vision for the future.
Boes 2020.
That's my catch line right there. I'm gonna run. I don't know what ticket I'm gonna run on, but the Bull Moose ticket. I'm gonna run on the Bull Moose ticket. President. You heard it here first, folks.
That sounds good.
Right? Me and Teddy Roosevelt.
At this moment in time, Mickey Mouse sounds great. Safe Haven is in need of a safer haven.
Yes, I was just gonna bring
That's a catchy title.
I know, isn't that just clever work?
Did you come up with that?
I
Nope,
did
Jennifer
not.
did.
Jennifer did.
What?
I actually did not change that headline this week. So since the building has been burnt down there on Oak Street, yes, on Oak Street, they are looking for a new place to call their new haven. I don't know how they're playing.
Safe Haven.
They're Safe Haven.
New Haven is
because they're currently right now back in the spot where they were.
Isn't that like Connecticut or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
The city in Connecticut, New Haven. No.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, New Haven.
We'll just go
Safe
with it.
Haven.
We'll go
Safe
with
Haven.
it.
They need a new Safe Haven.
They're looking for their new space because right now they're in the behavioral health building, which kind of puts a little bit of constraints on their hours that they can be open, because they used to be open to, I believe, like 5:30 or 6 and open on Saturdays, and now they're only open until like 4:35 and when the building closes.
So I see they're in need of warm lunches with paper plates, plastic silverware. Does that sound about right? That's
Yes.
what says in the paper.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, well, because everything was destroyed, and so they usually had food and lunches and whatnot for their peers, I guess. That's
Is this daily? Or
Yes.
they okay.
Yeah, they would have something, someone comes in who is having some kind of a mental crisis or whatnot, and at least they can provide coffee or a sandwich or something like that. They can help them out, and so they looking for that. I know this time of the year they usually put out a wish list, but there's a lot of, they don't have space. They're in pretty much a closet over there.
So if you wanted to donate, I assume you just take it over to
I believe you
Behavioral
can
Health
take it over
Building,
to
where they're at.
where
right
they're
now.
at the behavioral health office, or you can drop off monetary donations there at the behavioral health. So that way, if you don't want to go and purchase something, they can use the cash to make purchases themselves.
Right on.
Let's see.
Ooh, and since we talked about volleyball, I see football is making some section playoffs. We'll give a shout out to them. I don't know much detail, but I'm sure they're probably having games tonight, Friday,
Which
somewhere.
team?
Looks like Colusa has made it.
Yeah,
And
Pierce is
anybody else?
Pierce is in the number 2 seed in the division, giving them the home field advantage. They play Friday against the Modoc Braves, and then Colusa is the number 4 seed. They sit at 5-5 in the season, and will host Mount Shasta. And then looks like
Is Williams in there?
Let's see here.
I thought they were supposed to play Colusa in the playoffs. That's what you told me.
That's what somebody told me, but that is not the case.
Let's see
So
here. Yeah, I don't see Williams mentioned here.
Bunch of liars with their bad
if
information.
we missed it, please let us know. We apologize.
Sports at ColusaCountyNews.com.
Good job, sports team. Yay. Yay.
I need to get you a shirt that says "Go Local Sports Team."
Yeah.
There you go.
Support them all. Might not know where you play or what sport is going on, but good job. You have my support.
And then Princeton hosted a community cleanup day where community members and school members came out and cleaned up the ag barn there, or around the ag barn, should I say.
Did that bottom picture? I thought that girl was holding a chicken.
You know what? I
looks like
thought
it a
so
little
too.
bit.
Is it with a feather or with? It's just a bunch of stakes,
Yeah.
wooden stakes. It looks like a chicken.
And I think a little shout out since it's in here. Colusa Cemetery is doing the Wreaths Across America, which I signed, or I did one at the Veterans Day Memorial.
We
cool.
did.
We
We did too.
Technically, it's in my name, but I'll have Kent have some credit for it. But you have until November 30th to.
Yep, and they're
Sign up or
$15
register.
a piece. And if you buy two, the Yuba Sutter Veteran Stand Down organization will purchase an additional wreath.
Yes,
So technically, we got 3.
we got
Yeah,
3.
you got
And
three.
they're $15 a piece. And there's different little deals if you. I don't remember the
If you
application.
buy 1,000. Well, there's no deals though. It just scales.
Well, how many like the stand down will donate? So if you buy 4, they'll donate.
It's 2 to 1. Every 2 they do to 1.
Well, there you go.
You should just go listen. We did a podcast on this not too long ago. You go listen to that episode, you'll know all about it, Haley.
Refer to the podcast episode. With
What was the title of that one, Lloyd?
Oh, I can't remember.
Christmas in July.
Christmas in July, yes. Wow, she knows.
Was it the one with
better.
Melissa?
Melissa,
Yeah,
yes.
that was actually a really
That
fun
was the one I
episode.
wasn't here. That's
Yeah.
when we had
Yeah.
intern
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
intern Jeffrey was here.
Yeah.
That's right.
And please sing their song when you go sign up.
Economy line.
No.
No.
Oh,
Wreaths across America.
That's all
God
we
bless the
have
USA.
for now. Whatever the song is. Anyway.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, they're looking to place about 450 wreaths on the veterans' headstones there at the Colusa Cemetery.
you guys haven't listened to the podcast much, have you?
No, but
So they're
we
just
will
sitting
now.
here totally lost. Like, what are they? These guys are idiots. What are they talking about? Why did we come here? It's a total waste of my time.
I like these headphones.
We all did just subscribe right before you got.
Yep, I showed them all how to get on. We got 3 new listeners. Yes.
Yay.
And what
We'll
does that
take
get
it.
us?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Nothing. Just get
Bragging right.
get the information out more.
Did you hear they're doing? I heard this on the radio today. iHeartRadio is doing some giant gala for their annual podcast awards. It's like the very first one.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're going to give out prizes for the best podcast.
Yeah.
Did we get invited?
No.
Oh, well, shut her down.
No.
We're not good. Just cancel it.
It would probably be like Joe Rogan or
No,
some of those other ones.
It
that-
will be.
The ones that have millions of listeners a week, not a 200 listener a
Right.
week.
Right.
Next year.
Next year. Let's get 1 million listeners, considering our county only has 22,000 people.
We
About.
just need we need to add a new host to the show, like get like Bill Murray or somebody on here, and we'd immediately skyrocket to like 1 million listeners.
So if you're looking for more information about the wreaths across America, you can contact the Colusa Cemetery District at 530-458-2650 or stop out there at their office and they'd be happy to help. Or you can stop by here at the Pioneer Review, 310 5th Street here in Colusa, and we will get you an application.
And you really don't even need to fill an application.
No, you don't. You can go on the website, wreathsacrossamerica.org.
You can just write a check.
You can just bring them money and tell them to fill it out.
Yeah.
They'll do it. They'll do it because they just want the money.
No.
They don't care. Well, they need the money to get the wreaths, and that's what they want is the wreaths.
Oh, and
They don't need you to fill out
make sure you
paperwork.
mark your calendar for Saturday, December 15th, as they will be hosting a ceremony that day. And then the last thing on the headlines, I've kind of saved it last, is there's no quick fix for the ambulance shortage. There's been, obviously this has been the hot topic in the county, and the Board of Supervisors, the cities have all been working together, and Fire Chiefs Association have been working together to try to figure out a solution. And in the short amount of time, there just really isn't anything they can do to make this solution a long-term solution, because obviously you can throw money at it, but it kind of, the saying I like to say, you feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, you can feed him for life. And so I think it kind of goes here that if you keep throwing money at something, they're just going to keep wanting money.
Well,
but if you figure out,
what you need is a stable funding source.
That's what I mean.
And if you don't have a stable funding source, it's this bottomless pit.
Yeah,
throwing dollars
just
at.
Every year we need this, and
I know last week we said Casey was going to come on, but he had some stuff come. What'd you tell me?
Yeah, he had something came up and he was unable to make it this evening, which hopefully all that works out. But other than that, we were going to have him come on and talk about it, but Kent, I know
I'm pretty close to it.
You're pretty close to it. We try to keep that separate, but can you give us a little bit of insight into?
I mean, your article's pretty comprehensive. Do you just want to ask me some questions for clarification, or how do you want to do it?
Because I have a headache.
You just tell what.
Because honestly,
here's
the thing. If you want, I could go on for literally days about this.
I know.
That's how much info there is, and that's how close I am to it. I could go on for days.
So
and that's not an exaggeration.
No.
Like
tomorrow's officially the last day we'll have an ambulance and a half.
Tomorrow it goes down to 1.
So today.
Tomorrow.
Thursday.
Friday.
Well, actually, what time is it right now?
7:38.
Okay, so in like an hour and a half, we will have one ambulance for who knows how long. Basically, what we've identified, there's 2 problems. There's the short-term problem of we're going to one ambulance tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
There's the long-term problem of how do we fund this, right? So we pitched around the idea at the board level. We said, okay, we want to make sure other people are invested in this as well. We can contribute X amount of dollars. Let's see what our neighboring jurisdictions, let's see what our other stakeholders are willing to kick down to this. And basically going around to all those other jurisdictions, it was a resounding no, they have no interest in solving the short-term problem. So the short-term just throwing money at it fix to maybe buy us time until we figure out the long-term solution is basically out the window. And what that means is we're going to one ambulance tomorrow, period. That said, when we had 1.5 ambulances, that half ambulance spent most of its time doing interfacility transports for Colusa Hospital, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's 100% okay. It's something they can do. So I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent. Just facts are facts. That's what that other ambulance was doing most of the time. So being 100% honest, if we only really had one ambulance available and the other half ambulance was doing IFTs the whole time, we made it very clear to NLO, to SSV, and even according to statute, it can't do it. But now that we're going down to one 24-hour car, it will be prohibited, that particular car, from doing interfacility transports. Now, if there is, if there is someone's at the hospital and they have a life-threatening injury that the hospital can't take care of, they need to go to a higher level of care, and it is immediate, it is right now, and there is no flight helicopters or flight care available because of weather conditions or something like that, yes, they will use that ground ambulance because that's a different situation. That being said, if that ends up being the case, another ambulance will be moved to the county for coverage. That will be sent here immediately. So that's what I'm trying to say with all this is even though we're going down to quote unquote one ambulance, the level of service is going to remain relatively the same as it's been for the past year. So will we see increases in transport times? Will we see increases in response times? Probably.
Possibly, yeah.
Probably. I mean, it's going to be a little bit, but how much is it really going to increase? It's going to be situational based on the day. Some days we have absolutely no calls. Yeah. Some days we have 12 calls in 1 hour. So it's just going to depend on the time of day and the situation at hand. And
then this next week's newspaper, we have a report from Susan. The city of Colusa has decided to make an investment in converting one of their current SUV rigs.
Yeah, it's a duty rig, basically.
Yeah, to a basic life support transport.
Right, they're
vehicle.
setting it up so that it can accept gurneys and do BLS work, which for the folks at home, ALS versus BLS. ALS is advanced life support. BLS is basic life support. So it's a not as high of a level of care. It's staffed with EMTs as opposed to an EMT and a paramedic. But for those folks, being as Colusa is so close to the hospital, it makes a heck of a lot of sense
Yes.
for them to do that, because if the ambulance is in Williams and they go to a call and someone's got a broken arm without a ton of complications, they can just throw them in and take them to the hospital and get them immediate care a lot sooner than the 15 minutes it takes for the ambulance to get there from Williams. If that makes sense. So for their deployment model, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for the city of Colusa, yes.
Absolutely.
And so they're at least working with the solution locally where they need to, like you said, they're close to the hospital. Everybody's within, 5 minutes to the hospital
Right,
here in
and-
the city limits.
And Maxwell is also looking into the possibilities, the feasibility of them having an ambulance, a BLS ambulance, to serve just their district during the time. They're still trying to figure out whether that makes sense for them or not. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But both of those departments, I applaud their efforts for going. Nobody has asked them to go this extra mile.
No.
And they are certainly looking out for their own. They're doing a great job, and I applaud their efforts. But outside of that, the long-term solution. Do you want me to break that down a little bit?
What's that long term? Because from my understanding, it's forming a tax district, right?
Well,
or not
yes
a tax,
and no.
but
I mean, that's one of the possibilities. So,
Okay.
so with the long-term solution, what it comes down to is, and I'll try to be as brief as I can. I'll do as cliff notes as I can, but honestly, I could ramble on about this forever. But what it comes down to is previous. Let me do a little history. Let me back up. I know I'm scatterbrained all over the place right now, but a long time ago, before the hospital closed, we used to have 2 ambulances. That reduction before the hospital closed went down to 1.5. Pretty soon after that happened, the hospital closed. Mm-hmm. At that point, we were talking about longer transport times, and 1.5 ambulance wasn't going to cut it because they're not going to be staying locally. They're obviously going to be going to Woodland, Rideout, Enlow, Glen Memorial. They're going all over the place, right? So the Board of Supes at the time was trying to help alleviate those conditions because they knew the hospital was planning to reopen under a different name or whatever the case was. So they said, okay, let's throw some cash at this real quick to make sure we have 2 ambulances. Once the hospital reopens, that goes away just to get us through this period. So to go from 1.5 to 2 ambulances, it was $264,000 annually. After the hospital opened, that money stayed around for 9 months. When we went with the next budget cycle, we did it to coincide with the federal fiscal, which is in October. So that money went away. We went back down to the 1.5. That was about a year ago. So now they found out that they're losing more money. They're losing money to the tune of $440,000 a year.
Wow.
So they're reducing from 1.5 to 1. And if they want to go back up to 1.5, it's going to take $440,000 annually. Which means if you want to go up to 2, it's going to take in the neighborhood of $700,000, right? So in 1 year's time, this is 1 year's time we're talking about, an extra $500,000 in losses just so that I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong.
No.
I haven't seen their books. I'm just, that's the numbers that are reported. You take those numbers, you trust them, and you work with them. But just in 1 year's time, we're talking about $500,000. So what we've got here is a long-term issue.
Yes.
Is it going to be another $500,000 a year from now?
It's going to go to
am I going to
$2
give them
million.
$440,000 this year, and then the next year they're asking for $900,000, and the next year they're asking for 1.2, 1.7, and so on and so forth? What's really going on here? So what we've done to figure out the long-term solution here is we talked with a company called AP Triton. They're a consultant group made up of former fire chiefs.
Okay.
And those folks specialize in ambulance care and the different models that are out there, whether they're deployment models, reimbursement models, and there's a whole, without getting into the weeds of it, which I already really have, there's a whole bunch of different models out there. Some of them do and don't work for private ambulance companies. Some of them only work for governmental agencies. So you'll see like SAC Metro Ambulance, they're a government agency. They can benefit from other programs that private ambulance can't. Enlow is private ambulance. AMR is a private ambulance. Mm-hmm. SVA is a private ambulance. Lakeshore out of Lake County is a government agency. SAC Metro government. So West Side up in Glen County, they're a private ambulance. So they can and can't participate in different types of funding. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to channel my inner Reagan here, and that's trust but verify. Okay, we get the numbers from them and we go, okay, these are your losses. That makes sense. This is the revenue you're bringing in. This is your costs. Okay, but let's go ahead. We're going to do a revenue analysis, a valuation of the EMS system first, and That is a much smaller study. It'll be done about mid-December. And what that's going to tell us is how much revenue is actually in the system. Because, I mean, if you have a house, you guys own homes, right? You hire a guy to come over and build your roof. He says, I'm going to do it for $15,000, right? And then halfway through, he says, well, it's just, there's a lot more costs here. I'm going to need another $50,000. Are you going to just give him $50,000 to finish your roof? Or are you going to go out and talk to some other contractors and maybe they say, yeah, costs have gone up, but we can do it for 20. Are you going to go find another contract? So you're going to do some analysis. You're going to trust, but you're going to verify. So that's what we're doing now is we're finding out how much revenue is in the system. Are they getting every piece of revenue they can? Do they have billing issues? And then, or whatever the case may be, we'll come to the table and say, here's our analysis. We know how much revenue is in the system. It's the same as your number. Cool, let's move forward. Or it's different. Let's sit down and figure out why it's different. How can we help you guys get more revenue if there's more revenue in the system or whatever the case may be? Once we figure out the revenue side of it, then there's going to be a much more in-depth study that's going to take a lot longer to do. I don't have a timeline on that. I would say at least 6 to 9 months. But what that's going to do is it's going to analyze different deployment models. It's going to involve stakeholder meetings in the area to find out what the county wants as far as coverage, whether it's 1 ambulance or 6 ambulances or 2 or 3, what's appropriate. Then it's going to go into what different deployment models there are and how much they cost, whether it's an ALS ambulance and a BLS ambulance, whether it's 2 BLS ambulances and a paramedic and a supervisor car that can drive around and basically not pick and choose, but go to the appropriate calls where that medic is needed. They don't need to go to a call for hiccups, which, believe it or not, we get.
No, yeah.
They don't need to necessarily go to a call for difficulty breathing unless the AMT at scene says, okay, no, they're having a heart attack. Okay, get over there. Let's handle this, So there's lots of different deployment models that are successful for different areas. Then we're going to analyze what's going to be the most successful for us. Once we figure that out, how much does that deployment model cost? Then we can, from there, using the different funding sources, figure out how to cover either the shortfall or what to do with the surplus if there is one. There's going to be a shortfall. I hit spoiler alert. There's not going to be a surplus. So then we got to figure out how to cover the shortfall, whether that's with GEMT money, whether that's with IGT money. I know this is all alphabet soup, channeling my inner FDR, everyone. But those programs I'm talking about, they're government programs. You would have to set up a government agency as the provider. Or we can do parcel taxes and set up a special district. We can do a sales tax initiative for 0.5%, which would do like $2 million within the county. There's lots of different models. What's the most beneficial? What's the most probable? And how can we actually solve this issue going forward? The problem with the long-term study is even once we get all that data in a row, then we have to actually implement it. Implementing is going to take some time. So money. I mean, even if we had everything set up yesterday to do like a special district, we wouldn't get on a ballot till November 22, and we wouldn't see revenue until 23.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time. This is not an overnight thing that's going to get solved, and the fire districts are well prepared to deal with it. We're doing everything we can in the short term to get on this as quickly as possible, but that's where we're headed. So I don't know if you have any more questions, but I know I said I'd do a quick version, but
I knew
there is no quick version.
It's one of those things that I've been following this for a while, especially back when the issue first came up when the hospital was closing, and it's one of those things like it's no quick fix as what it says, and you guys have been working hard. I've been talking with Chief Cox, and all the meetings that you guys have been having and trying to figure out what's the best solution, because you all have, you guys live here, you guys know these are your neighbors, your friends, and your family, and you're all trying to look out for the best of everyone,
right?
And you gotta look for the long term and not the short term,
right?
And
like there's plenty of people look at this and they can't see past their nose.
No.
But you have to have that broader perspective. You have to have that long-term look at it and say, okay, we can throw money at it right now, but that's not going to get us anywhere.
No.
That's not going to get us anywhere. And here's the thing too. If I came up with $440,000 annually to bring that half ambulance back, is it going to do IFTs all day?
I don't know what IFTs are.
Interfacility transports.
Okay.
The thing I was talking about earlier. Now, since there are more than one ambulances in the county, it is now available to do that. And that's okay. They generate revenue. I get it. It's a business. But since it's that, if I'm going to throw $440,000 at this so that a half ambulance can do IFTs all day and not be available as a 911 vehicle, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know? So why would I throw and no, this isn't about money. It's about lives. I'm very aware of that, but it is also about money. And if I'm going to throw $500,000 at something so that it can't be available for 911 calls, that money can be way better spent towards solving a long-term problem as opposed to a short-term one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lose-lose situation. There's nothing, you can't do the right thing here. It's impossible, but you can try to make it better.
And it just it just makes my headache worse thinking about the chaos of it all.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, hopefully there's a solution. Of course, it's not going to be very quick, but hopefully whatever the solution we can, it's going to benefit the community. And, you know. So we have Carissa Bowers from the Community Advocates for Parents and Children, Franco Castillo, and Shelly Wilson. They're the public information officers for the California Highway Patrol. They're here to talk about
Shelly Wilson.
Yes.
Earlier he said, what do you want me to call you? And you said, he's an officer, and you said Shelly. I thought Shelly was your last name. So I was going to ask you Shelly what? But then the way it sounded, he was like, oh, yeah, and you were Officer Shelly. So Shelly's your first name?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad to clear that up. So you are Officer Shelly Wilson.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Sorry, I needed to be oriented. I got very confused for about a third of a second there.
It's definitely not the, what is it?
Frank
We'll find you a
Nick Wrongum Nightmare.
You have to learn that. You know, so don't worry, your time will come. You'll have a cool nickname.
You guys are here to talk about the upcoming Chips for Kids, the toy drive in the community. So I'm sure that the toy drive has begun, and you guys have barrels going out, or already out, or?
Well, actually, Carissa and we've spoken about that, and I believe we're gonna start next Monday, the 18th, and we're going to go ahead and disperse the barrels throughout the county, and it's gonna go through December 9th. And we have some of the locations where the barrels are going to go.
Yeah, give us those locations, and then also what you're looking, because I know you guys typically don't want wrapped toys, right? And
that's correct. Yeah, unwrapped. So it's easier for the children to pick out.
So no Snoop Dogg action figures or no wrapped toys, guys.
Action figures?
Snoop Dogg action figure. It might smell a little funny.
Easy E, Biggie Smalls. Nope. They don't want those.
But, you know, before we go into the locations, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Chips for Kids, how it started. Goes back to 1988. Chips for Kids began in Southern Division, which is our Los Angeles-based areas, all the areas comprising in the Los Angeles area. And it was just CHP officers who were collecting toys on their own, and they were delivering them around their communities, at children's hospitals, convalescent homes, boys and girls clubs, or just giving them to families, directly to families in need. And in the last 30 years or so, it's expanded across the entire state. We have 8 divisions in California, so it's just as strong here in Northern California as it is in Southern, border, coastal, and it's been really very successful. So we work in conjunction with our partners in community, the Colusa County CAPC, and we go and disperse throughout the county, and you know, for about 2 weeks or so, then we'll pick them up, and you know, that's where CAPC comes in, and you know, she goes ahead and makes plans of when to give them out, right?
So the barrels are going out on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when do the barrels come down?
December 9th.
Okay, so everyone has until December 9th to get their toys in the barrels.
That's correct.
And you're looking for unwrapped, any specific kinds of toys? Are there specific things you don't want in the barrels? No firecrackers or, you know.
Wrong month for that. But,
Betty cannons.
yeah, but new unwrapped
Grenades.
toys. So I mean, including books, games. Those are normally go to the children.
Is there a specific age group that this goes to?
So our application says for children 11 years and younger.
Okay.
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 So don't give them like Cards Against Humanity or.
So yeah, probably a gift card wouldn't be good for them.
No gift card.
Right.
Actual toy, something to actually open in it.
That's right. That's right.
So we have a list of locations. We're going to put together a calendar. So our barrels are going to some of them are going to rotate. So they may only be in one location for 1 week at a time. But we'll release kind of a calendared schedule of where the barrels would be. But
And where can people see that calendar?
they can find it on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yes, at Colusa FRC.
And if it isn't on Facebook, it's not happening. So I'm glad you put it there.
We'll put it on our Facebook page too, also
Okay.
CHP
And
Williams.
hopefully you put it in a newspaper because, we
Yes.
do reach people.
We should
right.
definitely
Just a
put it in the
couple.
newspaper.
Just 900 or so.
That's it?
More than what most Facebook likes get.
Okay. Well, then we'll send it to you, Lloyd.
Well, I was hoping you'd say that. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. We need
We were
need the
looking
help.
for help.
And all our listeners listening to this podcast.
All you pagers out there, that's their new name. I
New
decided
pagers.
just now. They're known as the pagers.
So do you guys want to hear the locations?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
All right. You guys want to start with Williams?
Sure.
Arbuckle?
Wherever you would like to go.
Whatever
Alright.
makes sense to
Where
you.
in the county do you want to start?
Calusa and Williams, Arbuckle, and then we'll move on.
There we go.
You're
All right,
making
so
decisions.
Colusa is going to be
Getting
our
answers.
biggest area for the locations. Ace Hardware, Colusa Body Shop Fitness, Rocco's on the River, Caffeinated, Kittle's Outdoor, Colusa Meat Market, Chevron gas station, Tri-Counties Banks, Strengthening Conditioning Gym, Hoblet Motors, Dollar General, and the branch library. And over in Williams, it's going to be Granzella's, Louis Cairo's, Dollar General, and of course CHP office. We're going to have 2 barrels there.
Did you talk to Grocery Outlet at all? I'm sure Chris and Kara would want to participate if you had room for them.
We haven't, but we
yeah,
can.
absolutely.
I know they're brand new and probably not. I'm sure you have a list every year
yeah.
that you go through the list and start making phone calls. So give them a call.
That's
I'll bet they would.
thank you. That's excellent. Yeah, especially since they're so brand new.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
They're
Okay.
a hot new spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I don't know how many
It's a huge
kids.
turnout, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how many. So for Halloween this year, we get a lot of kids at our house. So many kids had Grocery Outlet bags.
Really?
They were like being advertised the whole night. I was like,
That's perfect.
you can tell where everyone does their shopping. They should make a Halloween bag next year. Be a hit. Anyways,
So we have Colusa and Williams.
And I'll let Carissa
Okay.
tell you the
to
other
be, I'm
locations.
not trying to tell you how to do your job. I'm just had you thought about them
No,
because
no,
that'd
that's
be a
good.
great spot.
We're
No,
open
thank you.
to
Yeah.
suggestions. We're also going to have one placed at our office at 131 5th Street, the
Carissa, can you get closer to me?
Colusa County CAPC and FRC office. There'll be a barrel placed there the whole time of collection. Arbuckle, we plan to place one at the Ace Hardware and the Chevron gas station, as well as their branch library. And then in Maxwell, we'll have one placed at Chevron, Maxwell Inn, and the Maxwell branch library.
Are you doing any up in like Stony Ford too, or no?
We haven't reached out to anyone in Stony Ford yet, but we were told by the county librarian we could place them at all of the library branches. So I think that's a good
And that's a
spot.
pretty central location up there.
It
so.
is, yeah. We'll also be placing one at the Princeton Library.
Another suggestion for Arbuckle maybe be the coffee shop there in town.
Oh,
a lot of
yes.
people
Okay.
stop by there.
That would be the
Rise and Grind. If you're a family in need and looking for some extra help this holiday season for presents for your kids, how does one get an application for that?
So applications can be found online at our website, which is www.calusacapc.org. It can be picked up in our office. They will be posted on Facebook. And then we also have some located at the Williams and Arbuckle Family Action Centers. So they'll fill out an application and it can be turned into any of those locations or by email. And then there's a there's a verification process where you turn in your application. They'll have to just verify your child's age and sign off on it. But we're accepting applications through Friday, December 6th.
And when are you guys going to distribute the toys?
The distribution day is scheduled for Friday, December 13th. And we have 2 separate times, 9 to 12 a.m. and then 4 to 6 p.m. for those families who are working.
And that will be at the Family Action Center?
It'll be at the Colusa CAPC and FRC office at 131 5th Street in Colusa. And we are looking for volunteers.
I was just going to ask that. You're going to be looking for volunteers and
are.
wrapping paper and all that good stuff.
Yes. So this year we're going to be setting up a wrapping station so parents can wrap before they leave if they would like to. So we definitely just need donations of wrapping materials, tape, scissors.
And can we put that in the barrels, or do you want that be to you guys?
You could put it in the barrels.
Okay.
That would work. Yeah, because we sort. Okay. Well, that's why we pick it up December 9th. We sort through everything and we categorize it kind of in age group, so it's a little easier for parents when they come in.
Okay.
Do you need any bows?
Yeah, to volunteer.
Yeah. Go out there and wrap some presents.
You guys usually do the thing with the where you adopt a kid from the tree. Is that you guys too?
Angel tree, yeah.
And that has nothing to do with this, right? Do you want her to talk
Sure,
about that a little bit since
she's
you're
here?
here?
Sure. So we just started our 2019 Angel Tree. This year, we currently have 25 children that are placed in out-of-home foster care placements, and they qualify for the Angel Tree. So we're looking for sponsors for all 25 children. They're aged 0 to 19, looking for some support during the holidays.
So that's where the children, they submit a wish list, isn't it? And then you can purchase items off their wish list. And
Yeah.
Okay. And so they stop by your guys' office there at 131 5th Street, and they can pick off a child and
pick their angel. Yeah.
Ken, you've done it for 2 years in a row, right, Ken?
I have.
I remember your little list
it's
going
really
shopping.
cool.
It's actually really
It
fun.
is fun.
It's fun.
One kid, I got him a hoverboard,
and then a laptop, right?
and then another kid, I got him a laptop.
Some of our
yeah.
friends do it, and I know they've gone out and like UGG boots. One wanted.
Oh, that's
and then I think like Jordans, and I remember like, well, I don't know what kind of Jordans they want, so we hope these are the right ones. No, it's a lot of fun.
So angels are available, and we also have made little ornaments that you can place on your tree during the holidays, just to remember kind of the angel that you sponsored.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then those gifts are due back Monday, December 2nd.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe
those
that's
gifts are
the
due
day.
then?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's even sooner.
It is even
man.
sooner. Yeah.
Well,
We're
the
trying to get
holidays
them
are
out
running out of
before
time.
the holidays. I know.
Yeah.
Well, the holidays are so close
Well,
together.
Black
this year.
Friday shopping's like
Yeah,
right
get
before
that,
then.
Get that to
so
me before Black
Okay,
Friday.
I will.
Yeah, Black Friday, Small Business
I can
Saturday.
go get me a
Gotta
screaming
promote
deal.
that.
yeah. Oh, yep. Small Business Saturday, so you can do your Christmas shopping then. You know, plenty of time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lloyd's a huge advocate of. He hates Black
hey,
Friday.
does anybody want a subscription
hates
to the
it.
newspaper?
Haley buys them like by the dozen every year. So if you want one, just call Haley. She'll probably just give you one of hers. How many did you buy last year? 3?
Bought 3.
5?
I think I'm subscribed to like 4 subscriptions.
I think free.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
1. Yeah. No. Yeah.
One of them was
3.
a renewal
Oh yeah.
or something.
They're my Christmas gifts to people. I send them a card and go, "Here's your subscription to the paper."
Oh.
Pretty cheap gift if you think about
Had
it.
to plug that again.
It's
did
a
you?
gift that gives all year,
Yeah.
every Wednesday.
Kind of like the pie of the month club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody? Christmas Story? Come on.
Pie of the
Or
month.
not Christmas Story. National Lampoon Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
It was
now I got
Jelly
you.
of
Yeah.
the Month.
Jelly of the Month.
See,
That's it.
I
Get it
think-
right.
I
The
think
Jelly of the Month club.
I think of more Everybody Loves Raymond when the mom's like, make the fruit stop. She got on the Fruit of the Month club for Christmas, and yeah, she was like, it just won't stop. Who needs 15 bananas? Chips for Kids is you guys are collecting. There's barrels around at the locations we listed. If you can't find those locations or whatnot, I'm sure if you stop at a local business, they'd be happy to collect them for you. and give them to the CHP or drop them off at the CHP office or the CAP-C office. We'll have also in the newspaper and on our website, as well as you guys said on your guys' websites and Facebook pages, the locations of those drop-off locations. And again, if you're a family in need or you know of a family in need, they have applications available at colusacapc.com. .org, colusacapc.org. You can find it on their Facebook page, or stop in any of the family action centers in Arbuckle, Williams, and here in Colusa.
Anything else you guys wanted to add, or we pretty much covered it all?
I think we pretty much covered it all.
Is there any toys that you say we absolutely don't really want?
Butterfly knives, things like that.
Yeah, I think that's fair to
Billy
say.
clubs.
Right.
What is the hot toy this season?
What is the hot toy? Is it one of those LOL dolls or whatever they're called?
I don't even know what an LOL doll is.
I don't either.
I just saw it in the mall the other day.
There's like a whole
Just a big happy face?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It just says LOL dolls, and I kept walking.
See, according to the Today Show,
is it Furby?
The
Furbies
number
are back.
one toy is Little Live Scruffaloffs.
What?
These tiny fur balls continue to dominate the holiday toy rush.
I don't ever want to be a parent.
They transfer into cute stuffed animals with love and those look like, what was it?
They look like a Furby.
Like a Furby or the Gremlins.
Oh.
They're all cute and everything. You get them wet. And
you
then
mean a Mogwai.
Mogwai? Is
Gremlins are the nasty ones. You want the Mogwais. Those are cool.
Let's see. Then the hatching toothless
Hatchimals are still around?
baby dragon.
Oh, wait. No, you still.
And then Hatchimals. That's number 3.
Hatchimals are still around.
Crayola sprinkle art shaker.
These are the things everyone's going to be fighting for.
Hexbird
Like kids
Friday.
don't want like a basketball or like baseball.
No, they got to go
anymore.
outside to play with that.
Well, how about this one? It's the Hexbird Vex Robotics Boxing Bots RC Construction Kit.
What would say that again?
No.
Do they still have Easy Bake Ovens? Cabbage Patch dolls?
Doorables, collectible surprise dolls, and accessories. Surprise
Whatever.
dolls. Okay. Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 03 vehicle kit.
That's where you build your own stuff out of cardboard for your Switch or something, right?
Boxy Girl doll.
Boxy girl.
Boxy girls love shopping online for anything fashion.
What? Baby shark.
There's a toy now?
Lego Star Wars. Man, number 10 is Lego Star Wars. Then Echo Dot Kids Edition. No. Don't buy your
children an Alexa.
Echo Dot. No.
They can order stuff on your Amazon
No,
Christmas
that's
list.
horrible. Why is that even on here? Owlies. It looks like another stuffed animal. Weird.
And a fire truck. Look at that.
Paw Patrol.
Oh.
Cabbage Patch
Patch
Kids.
No, they're back.
I guess.
They never left.
Really?
They were pretty popular.
They're popular in the 80s, and then when I was a kid, they were popular. And then
I got a cabbage doll for Christmas.
Doc
one year.
McStuffins baby all-in-one accessory. I guess
Doc
you can-
McStuffins.
This all-in-one nursery is must for Doc fans. Kids will spend hours taking care of newborns and diagnosing all these boo-boos.
Well, there's a bunch of ideas for everyone.
Yeah, Hot Wheels Super Ultimate Garage Playset, Disney Frozen 2 Ultimate Castle.
Castillo.
Very nice.
2019 Girl of the Year doll.
What's that say? For real chubby? What'd that say?
What's that? Oh, for real chubby. Yeah.
What the?
It's like a teddy bear.
Or was it Teddy?
Teddy Ruxpin?
Right, yeah.
I still have a Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, man.
Our friend.
They give you like $80 for it on eBay.
Imagine-Tech's transforming Batmobile. Wow, I'm so glad that.
Like I said, I'm super excited about not being a parent. Those toys sound super lame. Whatever happened to like Connects and Lincoln Logs
They're
and
still around.
Erector sets? And
Yeah, but they're not popular. I mean,
right, I don't know. When kids used to be creative and like build stuff.
Oh,
Well, you know what? You can buy a bunch of those games.
How is
and put 'em in
Legos
the
not on
box.
that list?
it was number.
It was
it?
Star Wars
It was
Legos.
like Star Wars Lego. Here's
Not
my thing with
regular
Legos.
Legos.
Nowadays, it's all in a kit. Everything comes in a kit. Where I remember as a kid, you got like the bucket of Legos, and it was use your imagination, build what you want. They had little tiny.
They still
other
do
kits,
those too.
but it wasn't so popular with the big kits like they have now, the Harry Potter and all those other kind of stuff.
And you got to buy like what? all 20 of them to make like the big castle.
Yeah. And it's like, I just remember.
And then what do you do with it? You just look at it?
You take it apart and build it again.
Does not sound fun.
No. See, with the other box, you can tear it apart and make new things. And
There were no board games on that list?
no board games.
Wow.
At least there wasn't a cell phone. Can I say that no iPhone was on there? Or
Oh, I'm sure we could find a list with that on there.
yeah.
Do they have cell phones specifically designed for 3-year-olds? Like, is that
Probably,
a thing?
yeah.
Well, they have an Alexa designed for kids. I mean,
Right? That was anyway.
I
Does it
think-
connect? Does it have limited functions or something? Or
I knew like a long time ago.
because like one of my favorite things to do when Haley's not home, I'll tell Alexa to add something to like our shopping list.
Yes.
And then she gets a notification, and it's always something really silly.
Alexa for kids allows Alexa to play music, hear stories, and call approved friends and family. Anybody here have young kids? Could you imagine your kid supposed to be in bed sleeping and they're calling your relatives or friends, whatever's in the approved list while they're supposed to be in bed asleep? Yeah, I don't. Anyhow.
What's going on this weekend,
So
Lloyd?
this weekend we have, let's see, on Friday, you can go to the free walk-in flu clinic there at the Williams Flea Market from 10 to 2 p.m.
Go get your flu shot, Haley.
And then, of course, the holiday craft fair is this weekend on Saturday and Sunday.
I will be there on Sunday.
Oh, you will?
She goes
I will.
every year.
I have to go every year. It's tradition.
That's
know
right. You're going to get
why.
those, what
She
was
doesn't buy
the
anything.
couch cushion earrings again?
If she's there, I don't know. I'll let you know next week.
And then also the Family Water Alliance is hosting their annual dinner. That's the Hot Cajun Night Dinner and Auction. It's at 5:30 at St. Bernadette's Hall. On Tuesday, the Williams Blood Drive.
Yep.
If you're not doing anything and you would like to do something special for the holiday season, donate blood.
Are we cleared to donate blood yet?
Yes.
That's right. 'cause
We
you
made
guys-
our year.
Yeah, you guys went out of the country.
Country. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know that. If you go out of the country, you can't donate blood for a whole year if you come back.
If you just recently got a tattoo, you can't donate blood. I think it's a year or something like that. There's a whole bunch of rules. Yeah.
Wow.
Because we couldn't do it last time because we went to Mexico. Wow. So, fun fact.
Well, if you can donate blood, get out there and donate because there's always a need for blood, and you never know whose life you may save by giving blood.
And you get a $5 gift card.
What?
Yeah,
For what?
For
To
Starbucks. Yeah.
So if you're thirsty, have nothing to do between the hours of 2 and 6, go donate blood and you get a
If
free
you're
Starbucks.
thirsty.
Are we inviting the vampires to the?
Well, if you find yourself in the Starbucks drive-thru between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., leave, go donate blood, and then go back. I don't
See
know.
how you work?
I don't know how to promote this.
Do you guys remember way back in the day when I think it was the blood drives used to give you a pint for a pint? You get a
ice
pint of
cream.
blood, and then you go to Baskin Robbins and get a pint of ice cream.
I was thinking like a pint of beer.
That was where I was
There's a lot of
going.
nodding heads in here right now, folks. They're not saying anything, but they're nodding their head.
That'd be really nice, right? I used to work at Baskin Robbins at the time, and I used to hate that. Everybody coming with their tickets, and we'd have to keep that fridge
Can you
stocked.
imagine you just lost a whole pint of blood and then you go have a beer? That would be like having 3 or 4 beers all at one time. Like, that'd be great.
At least.
Anybody do anything fun for this weekend? Haley, you said you're going to the
I'll be at the craft fair
Craft
on
fair.
Sunday.
I'll be at the Williams Fire Pheasant Hunt
I
on
will
Saturday.
be there as well. You can come see me there.
what's that now?
Our annual fundraiser, the Pheasant Hunt. It's a lot of work.
Know nothing about it.
Okay.
I know.
I mean, it's been sold out for weeks.
Oh, it always is.
yeah.
Yes.
We don't do a lot of advertising because
No,
it gets sold
no.
out so quickly.
No. Well, that's where they actually hunt pheasant. So
Yes.
that's that.
Yes,
Yes.
it's a legit
It's
hunt.
a legit hunt.
You go hunting.
And then we go have lunch afterwards, and there's lots of games and prizes and free guns
Do you
and stuff
serve
like that.
pheasant there, or
We do not.
Oh,
We do not. They just
So-
take the pheasant home with them if they happen to get some.
You guys have anything fun, exciting that you want to share? You got going on this weekend?
I'll be at the craft fair all weekend.
What are you doing at the craft fair?
My husband has a booth there. Actually,
What is he doing?
Is he doing the steel stuff?
No, he is selling he has a shop called Leatherneck Woodworks, and he
wood signs.
makes flags
Yeah.
supporting Blue Line, Red Line, and military.
Like custom flags or the red line, blue line flags?
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're
Some are
absolutely
Red Line,
beautiful.
some are Blue Line.
And he'll
You can
custom make
customize
them. Yeah,
them.
he'll put names and stuff on them. They're really cool.
I'll have to go check that out. I don't even know that. That's pretty cool. How about you guys?
I'll be at the Cal versus USC game. So go Bears.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And I guess we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the flip.
This has been a Pioneer Review podcast production.